what does it mean to be an adjunct faculty rep?
It means you have to, it means you have to, well, for me, you have to represent not just people in my department, which is like about 70 faculty, adjuncts in LCAP, ESL department. We're like the majority, but like to represent everyone and to listen to everyone's concerns. And also, I guess, at least in this negotiation, part of it is just like I feel like I'm the person that people can talk to and give ideas to, and I'll try to make action happen. And I'm not going to be the one coming up with all the ideas. So I was really connected with our adjunct organizing group that Kristen, Joy, and Kenna and Angela were in and leading, and they pushed me. They pushed me too, which was really good. Like, so during negotiations, open negotiations, they could see what's happening, and they're like, why did this person say that? Why didn't you say this? So it's just always kind of being connected with the adjuncts on campus and, trying to be their voice and see what they want.
And Kate, you're coming to us as full-time, right? Full-time.
No, I'm
no, you are adjunct as well. Okay,
Yeah,
great.
yeah. I'm an adjunct. Oh, yeah.
I know that some folks in some places, the role of adjunct faculty rep can be played by an adjunct faculty or a full-time faculty member who is gathering information from adjuncts.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Okay. I didn't know that either.
That was at Cornish. This used to be occupied by a full-timer who was going out and soliciting information from adjuncts.
I was going to speak to, I've been the adjunct faculty rep at my current college at Pierce for over 2 years. Before that, I was the adjunct faculty rep at my previous college for over 5 years. So I've been in this role for quite a while. I see myself as being primarily, I really put it out there. I was struck when somebody else said early, and I don't remember who it was, so forgive me. They said that most adjuncts don't even know who their rep is, right? And I make a really big point of really promoting the fact that we are a union and that you have representation. And I do that by communicating through several different means, but also just really making yourself visible, I think is very important. And then the second most important thing that I do is I always advocate for adjunct issues during union meetings, because it's and I'm in a very positive, I believe that my local is very, very supportive of adjunct issues, more so than in other colleges that I've worked for. So I'm not trying to say anything negative about that, but I think that sometimes we see that the nuances of how something that they're talking about may impact adjuncts is lost. And often I find myself raising my hand in the Zoom meetings and going, I'm hearing what you're saying, but for adjuncts, that isn't true, or that's not the experience, or there's unintended consequences if you go with that policy that's going to impact adjuncts. And always just being the voice in the room to just sort of make sure everybody sort of comes back and really represents everybody in the union. And so, again, love my local, right? But I mean that's why we have adjunct representation there. And then of course I make sure that there's an adjunct in every ad hoc committee, and every bargaining session that we do, no matter what they're bargaining. Because sometimes you don't think it's a bargaining issue that impacts adjuncts, but a lot of times you find out later that there is something that intersects that in there. So
awesome, thank you. Just quick follow-up question. Since you have served in that role in 2 different institutions, did you notice a significant or insignificant difference between the roles at the different places?
Yes. Actually, it's really interesting that you asked that, because the last institution I was at, which by the way was in California, so I don't want anyone to try to guess which college this was. I found out, I actually was a union member, and I got involved in union leadership because I found out they did not have adjuncts on the bargaining team. And when I brought it to union leadership, they told me directly, well, their adjuncts aren't in the union. And so I personally went around and in 6 months made it so the adjuncts were the majority of the union.
Wow.
So I had to fight for that one. And then it's all like, okay, well, now you're the adjunct rep. and then literally, then you're the adjunct rep. And then I was put on the bargaining team. And so they came around really quickly. But I mean, they didn't really fight it once they realized what was going on. And I think no one ever apologized to me for it, but I kind of got the feeling that they realized that they were kind of being idiots once it kind of got brought to their attention. Pierce has always had adjunct reps. In fact, they have 2 positions on the board because we have 2 campuses. And then, you know, and again, and very supportive. They've always had adjuncts on the bargaining team. So very different cultures.
I just want to say three adjuncts, right? And Barlow as well, who is here today.
Yes, Barlow is here today too, but I believe that Barlow is not here as isn't an adjunct. He is an adjunct but he's actually the JBLM.
Yes.
Yes, but yes, we actually have, and also Christina Cox, who I think is also here today, is also on the executive board for our union. So it's just, but we have 2 positions that are specifically dedicated just to being adjunct reps, but there are other adjuncts on the board as well. Thank you for pointing that out.